Welcome back to the channel. This is the Hope, HOPE, helping our people elevate, where we uncover the untold stories of history. Today we're diving into a tragic yet important case, the story of Lena Baker, the only woman to ever be executed in Georgia's electric chair. Her case is a haunting reminder of the racial gender injustices during the Jim Crow era. What happened to her was more than just a miscarriage of justice, it was a reflection of a system designed to silence and oppress. Let's get into it.
On behalf of Akuno Sanko for Bay, you know what I'm saying? Jay, where you at? We're trying to help our people elevate. Hope, HOPE. We're giving them hope. We doing what we gotta do, you know. Every day, one step at a time, man. We gonna make it happen. Helping our people elevate. Yeah. Sometimes I practice focus, thought, and meditate. I'm trying to come with other ways to help our people elevate and seeking knowledge, make me levitate. The lifted mental state is what results from how we orchestrate. This for the family's sake. Let's self-reflect and self-evaluate. And every day, make sure the steps you take, you calculate. Receive a master's fate. I know I can't exist without the hate, but that's okay. I balance that with higher self today. Success is on this way, and after that, my flesh can pass away.
Lena Baker was the first and only woman to be executed in Georgia's electric chair. She was executed in 1945 after she was convicted of murdering a man who had imprisoned her. At the time of Baker's execution, the Georgia prison system was under scrutiny for reform. Baker was born in 1900 in the small community of Cotton Hill, about 5 miles southwest of Cuthbert, the seat of Randolph County. There, she and her family, which included a brother and 2 sisters, did framework for a living. Later, Baker and her parents moved into Cuthbert, where Baker cleaned houses and did laundry to support herself and her 3 children. Ernest B. Knight, a local grits mill owner, hired her to care for him while he recovered from a broken leg. The Albany Herald later reported that Knight, who was white, soon began to lock Baker, an African American, in the grits mill for days at a time. Baker testified at her trial that Knight had forced her from her home on the evening of April 29, 1944, and taken her to the grits mill, where he locked her in. Her testimony in the court records indicated that the 2 tussled over a pistol, which fired, killing Knight. The trial convened on August 14, 1944, at the courthouse in Randolph County under the jurisdiction of Judge Charles Williams Two Guns Horrell, who presided at court with 2 pistols on the bench. In her testimony, Baker described how Knight locked her in the mill house while he went out to a church singing. When he returned, he brought her something to eat, but refused to let her leave, she said. When she insisted on going home, the 2 began to argue, and Knight brandished an iron bar that he used to lock the door. Baker said she feared for her life and attempted to push past Knight to leave. As she did, Knight was shot through the head. Baker testified that she walked immediately to the house of J.A. Cox, a county coroner and a man whom she had done field work, and told him that she had killed Ernest Knight. The trial lasted less than a day and concluded with a guilty verdict and a death sentence for Baker. Judge Worrell sentenced her to be executed. However, Governor Ellis Arnold granted Baker a 60-day reprieve so that the Board of Pardons and Parole could review the case. In January 1945, the board denied clemency. Baker's execution date was rescheduled for March 5, 1945. She was taken to Reidsville State Prison on February 23, 1945. Baker went to her death calmly and proclaiming her innocence. Her last words were,
"Any final words?"
What I done in self-defense, or I would have been killed myself. Where I was, I could not overcome. God has forgiven me. I have nothing against anyone. I picked cotton for Mr. Powell, and he was good to me. I'm ready to go. I'm 1 in the number. I'm ready to be with my God. I have a very strong conscience.
She was pronounced dead at 11:26 a.m. after 6 minutes and several shots. The Cuthbert newspaper reported Baker's death with the headline, "Baker Burns." Baker was buried in the cemetery next to Mount Vernon Missionary Baptist Church in Randolph County. In 1998, a group of concerned church members marked her grave. In 2001, Georgia discontinued to use the electric chair as a means of capital punishment and now executes the condemned by lethal injection. The state's prison's old death chambers in Reidsville has been restored to its original condition. There, visitors may see the chair, known as Old Sparky, the generator, switchboard, Embling Room, death row cells, and recreation area known as the Last Mile. The under death row sentence register is also displayed along with other official documents. Most prominent of all, however, is a stark black and white picture of Baker taken the day she was signed into prison. Typed underneath it are her last words. In August 2005, Baker was pardoned by the State Board of Pardons and Parolees. The board acknowledged that the 1945 decision to deny Lena Baker clemency was a grievous error and that she could have been charged with a lesser crime of voluntary manslaughter, which would have prevented the sentence of capital punishment.